Hello, hello, hello. And this is Cheryl Pullins. I am your facilitator for the next few videos where you're going to learn some amazing, iconic marketing secrets. Again, my name is Cheryl Pullins from iCoachWoman.com, and it is certainly my delight to share some amazing secrets, if you will, doing my air quotes, that I've learned and discovered in my journey as an entrepreneur. And I want to share just a few of those with you. Now, to frame this just a little bit, I want you to understand from my side of the table, if you will, that I am talking about things that I've learned from experience. So it's not so much theory. It really is real world concepts and strategies and things that I've encountered as a result of being an entrepreneur, mostly being a coach and a consultant to women coaches, consultants, speakers, and writers. So I want to jump in. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time with a lot of fluff. So we're going to jump in a little bit, and we're going to talk about what we're going to cover during this video. And so here's what we're going to cover. We're going to talk about the 3 ways that this huge mistake, and this I should have kind of titled this particular part of the training as the #1 mistake you're making in your marketing that's hurting your business. The #1 mistake you're making in your marketing that's hurting your business. So we're going to talk about the 3 ways that this mistake is showing up in your business. We're going to talk about what the world's most recognized and inspirational woman has to say about how she leverages her passion into purpose. We're going to talk a little bit about the #1 secret to creating a marketing message that gets results. And then I'm going to share one little thing that I'm going to have you do that's really going to kind of help reinforce this for you. Okay? All right. So here we go. Now, I want you to listen up. I want you to pay attention, right? And there are some things I want you to think about in terms of your marketing results right now. And I want to know, or maybe I want you to ask yourself, are you experiencing some lack of clarity around your marketing message? Sometimes we know within ourselves when something isn't working. And we may not exactly know why, but we know something is just a little askew. So this lack of clarity could be a contributor to the results or lack of results you're seeing in your marketing efforts. The second thing you could be experiencing is kind of this mumbo jumbo messaging, where you're not really clear, you're not clearly articulating who you are, who you serve, and what your solution is that's going to help make your market's lives better. Because at the end of the day, the bottom line, your market is looking for something that's going to make their lives better. That's going to allow them to move into a place and a space where they can live the life that they desire. And how do you and your marketing show up in the world as the solution for that? Better yet, as the only solution. And the third thing you might be experiencing is that you may have a hard time getting clients. And it could be because of the first 2 I mentioned, lack of clarity and this kind of mumbo jumbo messaging. So you're experiencing these things. Let's Let's see why. Let's see what your number one mistake, or the number one mistake that you're making in your marketing that's hurting your business. And the mistake is people don't know what you do. They're not clear about what you do, what value you bring to the market. Why should they do business with you? Why should they listen to you? Why should they take time out of their schedule to attend your event, or to show up for your webinar, or to be on your conference call, or to do your program? What is the compelling reason and message that you have for them that is going to shift them in such a way that their lives will be changed, that things will be different, that their business will take off, or that their income will soar, or that they'll really start to feel like they're making a difference in the world? So the mistake that you could be making with your marketing is that people don't know what you do. If people typically have to say, what is it? What is it that you do? And I just want to share a little story. When I first started coaching some years ago, and I really wasn't clear about my messaging. I had no idea who I was talking to. I was just, kind of very vague, and I was general, and I was kind of all over the place. And people would consistently ask me, well, what is it that you do? And they ask with that sound of uncertainty that almost makes you question, whether or not you even know or understand what you're doing. And I promise you, I didn't. But when I got to the place where my message became clear, and I became clear about who I was, about who I serve, and about what their challenge is, and about how I serve them, then my messaging started to come together, and I started to align that message with my voice and my personality. Okay. So there are lots of components to this, but we're going to start at the 30,000 foot level, or the 35,000 foot level, and just give you a little glimpse, of this one mistake that really could be impacting your marketing and hurting your business, which is messing up your bottom line. So you might be thinking, well, people don't really know me, so, maybe that's the problem. Well, here's the deal. If people don't know what you do, they're probably not going to take time to get to know what it is that you do until you give them a compelling reason to. You have to give them a compelling reason. You're competing with so many different variables. We a lot of times hear about competition in the market. Well, honey, there are more things that we're competing with than just, someone that's in the same industry as we are. You're competing with social media. Just in general, you're competing with people scrolling through the news feed. You're competing with Twitter. You're competing with Game of Thorns. You're competing with, the most popular TV show at any given time during the season. Those are the things that you're really competing with. You're competing with family time. You're competing with getaways. You're competing with people just wanting to sit and read a nice good book, if they have to choose between, kind of showing up for something you're doing versus, I'm going to take that time to relax and chill. I mean, those are the things that you're really competing with. So, if people have a compelling reason to want to get to know you, then they're going to do that. They're going to do that. So because you have this lack of clarity, and you have this mumble jumble messaging, and you're having a really hard time getting clients, and then people don't know what you do and who you are. Because of that, now your market's confused. They're confused. They're like, I don't know. And this is what I know for sure. A confused mind takes no action. A confused mind takes no action. Now, you could have heard it another way. You could have heard it said that a confused mind doesn't buy. Either way, you do not get the results that you're looking for. So now, what's the secret? What's the secret that's going to help you move your brand, boost your bottom line, help you become visible, influential in the market? Well, you have to, with all abandonment, get diamond-like clarity. You know, they say diamonds are a girl's best friend, right? You want to shine, dazzle, show your brilliance, just like a high quality diamond. No one questions a diamond that has brilliance and has clarity. No one has to ask, well, what kind of stone is this? What kind of gem is this? They already know. And they can almost determine the value based on how that diamond shows up. Okay? So what do you have to get diamond-like clarity about? About who you are. You have to get it about who you serve, meaning your target market. You got to know them. You got to understand them. You got to know their behaviors. You got to know how they think. We call this psychographics in marketing. There's some intricacies about your market that you need to know so you can speak to when it comes to marketing to them, so that you can cultivate or you can curate that compelling reason for them to want to be a part of what you're doing. You need to get clear about what their problem is. How can you speak to them and share a solution with them if you're not even sure what the problem is? And then you're not sure if your solution is going to work. So that's the fourth thing you want to get clear about. Your solution. Your solution. What can you do? What passion and purpose do you have? What skill, knowledge, talent do you have that you can meld all together that is going to make their life better? And when it comes to that compelling reason, that's the question you must be able to answer. What can you do? What can you bring to the planet? What can you offer up as a solution that is going to make your market's life better? And this woman is a great example of that. And I watched an interview that she did at the Stanford School of Business a couple years ago. And she talked about her real purpose in the world. And she said that she, thought she was just doing a radio show or a TV show rather. She thought I was just doing a TV show. But what I was really doing was making a contribution to the planet, to connect people to themselves, to give them a higher idea of consciousness. That's laser, diamond-like clarity. She shines bright in the world. She dazzles the world with her passion and her purpose for helping people connect with themselves and raising their idea of their consciousness of themselves and why they're here in the world. She shows her brilliance, and she uses the media as a platform to make that happen. So for you, it's assignment time. It's assignment time. And it's assignment time because I want you to set aside some time to get clear about your passion and your purpose. Get clear about who you are, who you serve, that target market. What is their real true problem? You know, we often hear, what's the problem that keeps people up at night? What's the problem that keeps people stressed, worried, concerned? What's the problem? What's the challenge they're having that makes it so they can't live the life that they truly desire? Okay? And how? How can your solution help them live a better life? The first step to ideal client attraction is to understand those things. And this is a huge pillar in creating an iconic marketing message that cares. And what does that mean? It means that you've created a message that captivates, that articulates, that resonates, that engages, and that serves. So your assignment for this video or this lesson is to answer those questions, and I'll repeat them for you once more. Who are you? Who are you serving, meaning what target market? What is their biggest challenge and problem? And what is your solution? What is it that you can do to make their life better? This is Cheryl Pullins from iCoachWomen.com, and I'll see you on the second video. Bye.